Hey guys, Sean here. I'm here to finish my new Spy Kids reviews with the 2011 movie Spy Kids All the Time in the World. This is kind of supposed to be a sequel and a reboot simultaneously, mostly because it can't really tell what it wants to. It can't tell what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a sequel or a reboot. Um, so yeah, here we are. So this is a 2011 movie written and directed once again by Robert Rodriguez, just like the other three movies. And this stars, let's see, Jessica Alba, Joel McHale, Alexa Vega, Daryl Sabara, Rowan Blanchard, I think, Mason Cook with Ricky Gervais, and Jeremy Piven. Um, like I said, this is basically a sequel and a reboot simultaneously. Yeah, this movie essentially takes place at least a decade after Game Over, and features new kids in the leads, with Carmen and Junie coming back as like supporting roles, like the mentor type characters in like a pass the torch kind of thing. But it's basically the plot is this evil villain known as the Timekeepers, speeding up time primarily because for reasons I really don't give a crap about. And so these new kids, Rebecca and Cecil, along with the help of with Carmen and Junie, have to basically stop the bad guy. That's pretty much the plot in a nutshell. Okay, before I tear this movie a new limb, let me get the stuff I liked out of the way. Okay, first of all, this movie is rated PG with a runtime of an hour and 28 minutes. Basically the same runtime as the first movie. Yeah, pretty much. Same time runtime as the first movie. But let me get the stuff I liked out of the way, okay? I like that they brought Carmen and Junie back, though their parts, I think, were just put. Honestly, I think they were just written in there just to suck in the fans of the original trilogy to get their butts in the seats. Because honestly, Carmen and Junie don't really do much of importance to the plot. You know, they're just there just because it's a Spy Kids movie, and Robert Rodriguez wanted them back just so it wouldn't feel like a reboot. But the problem is they don't show up until like almost an hour into the movie, so they barely have any screen time. So I like seeing them back. I liked all the references and Easter eggs to the first three movies, like where Carmen is giving the new kids a tour of the old Spy Kids division, which apparently has been shut down. I'm assuming probably due to budget or something. They don't really mention. I'm just guessing. But it's been shut down since Game Over. Carmen gives the kids a tour. We get to see all the old gadgets that Carmen and Junie had in the first three movies. We see this kind of, I don't want to say a shrine, but like a memorable, like a memory wall sort of Carmen and Junie from the first three movies. And then we see all of their old gadgets, like the Dragon Spy, the chopper that Gary used in the second movie. We get to see models of like little bug models of Ralph. We somehow or other, they have these costumes that Carmen and Junie wore in the game in the Spy Kids division. Weird. And then we also see like a Spy Kids program file of Carmen and Junie from the last two movies, and they do mention Gregory and Ingrid, but I think by the way they mention them, by Carmen saying that Mom and Dad left the family business to both of us, I think it's them insinuating that Gregory and Ingrid have passed away. I don't know, that's how I took it, you know what I mean? But now, let me get onto the bad stuff. Okay. As cool as it is to have Carmen and Junie back, like I said, they have nothing to do in this movie. They're just there to be there because it's a Spy Kids movie, and Robert Rodriguez wanted to suck the fans of the original trilogy into the seats. So they were pretty pointless coming back. Not to mention, they pretty much have the same arc as they did in the first movie, where Carmen and Junie were at each other's throats and they have to learn to work together. And that's another bad thing is the two new kids, they pretty much have the same arc. Not to mention, they are annoying as fuck. The new kids are annoying beyond belief. They're always fighting with each other, trying to see who's the better kid, etc., etc. They're annoying. This movie basically overloads on poop jokes, fart jokes, and puke jokes, whatnot. Whereas the first three movies, yeah, they had them, but they didn't go overboard on them like this one does. The plot of this movie, like I said, is pretty ridiculous. The villain, I think, is really stupid. They say the freaking title of this movie in the film 6 times. 5 times plus the subtitle. So yeah, this movie has a negative review, and I thank God for that. With only a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I thank God for that, because there was never a 5th movie. Oh God, had there been a 5th movie, I would have died. Because this movie sucks. The only reason I watched this movie was, look at that, because it's Spy Kids, and then, where is it? They brought back the 2 leads. Those are the only 2 reasons why I watched this dang movie. They have Ricky Gervais in here as the dog, as Argonaut, but he's just there to be there, I guess. I mean, yeah, his performance was good, but he wasn't really all that funny, like he's in the Night at the Museum movies. And I have to agree with Common Sense Media, who gave the film a 1 out of 5. That says positive messages can't save the worst film. Yeah, the worst film in the series. I actually agree. This movie also does not have. This is the only movie not to include Antonio Banderas and Carla Gugino, but they are mentioned though. Like I said earlier, they are mentioned, but briefly and in passing. And I kind of read into that, like, are their parents dead or something? Like, I don't know. They do also kind of reuse a plot point from this movie where Junie has left the OSS for so many years, etc. And that's kind of what makes Carmen and Junie go to each other's throats, which I didn't mind that, but we didn't really need it. You know what I mean? At least not how the 3rd movie ended. But yeah, all in all, this movie, why was it even made? If I were to do a video on the top 10 most unnecessary sequels, this would be it. This would be on that list. But I'm not going to do that video. I'm just saying, if I were to, this movie would be on that list. Because this movie was unneeded. We didn't need this film. It was only made... Now, I can understand the reasons for Robert Rodriguez making this movie, because he probably wanted to reintroduce this franchise to a new generation. But here's what he could have done better. He could have done this. Just re-release these movies in theaters. There's the way to get your new audience members. Just re-release the original trilogy instead of making this fucktard. Ugh. And another thing I didn't like was, apparently, Jessica Alba's character is supposed to be the sister of Gregorio Machete. Machete does make a cameo in this movie, but in the final film, he's only in this for a split second. Whereas but he does have a deleted scene where he meets, where he does meet his step-niece and nephew. But yeah, what I'm saying is, if this is true, like, if Jessica Alba's character is supposed to be I'm guessing the younger sister of Gregorio Machete, then I have a question. Where was she in the last 3 movies? Where was she when Gregorio and Ingrid got captured by Floop? Where was she when Carmen and Junie were lost on the Yukata assignment and Gregorio and Ingrid and the grandparents went to try and save them? Where was she when why didn't she pop up when Junie called up the family files in the 3rd movie? Why didn't she show up at the very end of the 3rd movie when they called in everybody? Ugh. But of course, you got to figure they only made her the sister of Gregorio and Machete just to tie this into the original movies. Pointlessly, I may add. And you have Jeremy Piven in here in like 3 roles as Danger Diamo, who's apparently the new head of the OSS, which, if this is supposed to be a sequel, why isn't Gregorio the head of the OSS? Like, if this was a straight reboot, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but if this is supposed to be a sequel, Gregorio should be the OSS director. But again, this movie can't decide what it wants to be. And then you also have him as a villain named TikTok, right there. His voice is he's about as annoying as the kids are. And then you have him as Danger's father. And then the whole thing they say in this movie, the head of the good guys is the head of the bad guys. Yeah. Haven't seen that before in this franchise. And also, they kind of reuse a line of dialogue from the first movie where, in the first movie, when Carmen and Junie find that Gregorio and Ingrid are spies, they say that Carmen's like, my parents can't be spies, they're not cool enough. Well, in this one, when the kids find out that Marissa's a spy, they say that she says pretty much the same thing. She's not cool enough. It's like, oh. So yeah, this movie had no reason to exist, honestly. It was pointless, stupid, and just gosh damn ridiculous. And thank God they never made a 5th movie. Because if they did, oh. You know what they could have done for a 4th movie? Is if they wanted to have a different set of characters, fine. But have it more connect, either reboot this thing completely, like take out all the references to the first 3 movies, and reboot it completely, or make it more of a sequel to the original movies. As it stands, this doesn't know what it wants to be. It has an identity crisis. But that's... If I talk about this movie anymore, my head's gonna explode, and I'm gonna be very pissed. More than I probably am now. And I just thought of a few more things about this movie. There's a section in the movie where Marissa, played by Jessica Alba, tells Carmen that Rebecca is just like you. Or is a lot like you. And then Carmen's like, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. It's like, no, that's not true, because if I remember my information from the original trilogy correctly, Carmen was a rebellious teenager who was an ingenious hacker. Was a super smart hacker for her age. She wasn't a prankster. I'm sorry, but no. And also, oh yeah, people say that Arnold Schwarzenegger had way too many freaking ice puns in Batman and Robin. Well, I think this movie gives Batman and Robin a run for its money, because this movie has way too many time puns. Too many to count, if I may add. So that's enough of the Spy Kids series. And I do want to mention that I had this idea to do a Q&A video where you guys can ask me any questions you want, like whether it be personal questions or questions about my channel, such as like requested reviews and whatnot. Any questions you guys want, but I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. It's just an idea I had. If you guys send me questions, then I will do the Q&A. If not, then it's cool. If you want me to send me questions, I will post my places you can send the questions in the info box below. So I will catch you guys later.